Good morning and God bless. Thank you for inviting us into your living room again this morning. Now today, we have a very special painting, as you can probably see from behind me. But before that goes, all the colors that are going to be on my palette today are going to run across the bottom of the screen. Now, let's talk about what we have going on. Now, we've had a lot of requests to do a makeup tutorial. So that is what we're going to do today. So I'm going to need you to do a face mask. Now, we're going to start with the blender brush, but before we do the blender brush, okay, I know that there's some young ladies out there that might say, I want to do this, but I have a zit on my forehead. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use a mighty patch, okay? This is going to be our sun. So I just want you to, this is yours. I want you to decide where you want yours to be. Wherever you want it to be, you decide. We're going to go ahead and say, our sun's going to be right here. Yeah, that looks nice. All right. Now, I want you to go ahead and I want you to take your blender tool. We're just going to go into your foundation. We're using e.l.f. today, but you can use whatever you'd like, okay? And we're just going to want to do, just tap it in. Tappy, tappy, tappy. We just want a nice foundation. You can do it. You can do it. It's just that easy. It's that easy. Okay? You can just go ahead and just go right over top of them eyebrows. Okay? And don't you worry about them. We'll take care of them later. Okay? So, you're just going to want to blend it in. Now, if you're like this young lady, you got some pimples down here, just put a little extra on that. Okay? So, just really on the mouth, you just want to do it a lot. Okay? And then over here. All right. We'll get a nice close-up of that too. So, now, once you have that fully covered, you're going to want to take a dry 2-inch brush, and we're just going to want to blend that in all the way across. Oh yeah. Nice and smooth. Before we go any further, you're going to want to wash this brush, okay? So, odorless paint thinner. And just go ahead and just beat the devil out of it. And make sure that you don't do this in your living room, or you will redecorate the walls, okay? So, now, before we get started, this is going to be a little bit different than we would normally have. Okay? So because of that, we not only have our paint, we're going to have a palette, okay? Now the palette we're going to be using, this is the cheapest one I could find at Target, Revolution. You could use whatever palette you would like, but we're going to go ahead and get started with this. Now we're just going to start out with a brush. You can use whatever brush you would like. Now, you can choose whatever color you would like. This is your landscape. This is your world. You create this world. Whatever you can dream, you can do. What we're going to go with, since we're doing skin tones, we're going to go for a nice little sunsets. That's why I have the little mighty patch right where it is. So, remember, the further from the sun, the darker it's going to get, okay? So, we're just going to start further away. And we're going to take some of this purple, okay? And don't worry, we're going to blend it in. Just kind of go around the edges here, okay? Really lay it in there. And we're going to have our horizon line right here underneath of her nose. So you're going to want to make the sky all the way down to that. All right? We thank you so much for writing in. And if this is something that you enjoy and you want to see more of this, let us know in the comments. Please subscribe, like, click the buttons. Whatever you young children do these days. But we certainly thank you for your views. And if you could comment and let us know if you want us to do another makeup tutorial, what theme would you like? What kind of landscape? Send us pictures of yours. Send us pictures of your landscapes. We'd love to see them. We certainly would. She doesn't look like she likes me tapping her this hard. No. Paint this nice and purple. All right. Now, just take your time. You don't got to do it as fast as me. You can pause the video. Take your time. Take your time. And if you mess up, we'll work with it. Find a way to incorporate it. There's no such thing as an accident. All right. You can't make mistakes in your world. All right. Now, you're going to want to just wipe off that brush a little bit. Get some of that purple off. Okay, because we don't want to mix it. Now we're getting closer to the sun. So we're going to go up here. I don't really have a red. If you have a brighter red, go with that. And you're going to want to just start right where you're at. Don't worry about blending them in together yet. We'll do that later. All right? All right. And just a little bit of this. Just a little. Just a little. All right. Now, wipe that brush off. All right. We're going to start blending these colors together. It's just that easy. Look at that. Now, if you don't have a palette like this, you could use the paints if you would like. I'm just going to keep wiping off some of the excess. You could use the paints if you'd like. But you're probably going to have to wait for the paint to dry if you're going to do that. See, we're going to go all the way to the sun, all the way to the mighty patch with the red. Just a little bit extra. We'll have that nice and bright. Nice and bright. All right. Now, when you're doing this to yourself, you can go ahead and get closer to your eyes. I'm just not trying to do that to our model here. All right. She looks like she got sucker punched here. She got purple eyes. How about that? All right. Now, we're going to be done with that brush. And we're also going to be done with the palette. So what you're going to want to do next is we're just going to take this little mighty patch off. And I know it doesn't look like anything yet. I'm going to take a small brush, just the smallest dot of yellow. It doesn't take a lot. Just put it right there. All right. Just like that. That's our sun. Then we're going to wash this brush. All right. Now the fun begins. You're going to want to take yourself a fan brush, okay? And we're going to take some of this purple. Now, you can use whatever colors you'd like. We're going to make some clouds. Only thing I implore you, don't use any blue in this, because if we mix blue with some of these yellows, it's going to create green. But purple will not do that, okay? So with the fan brush, we're going to take this purple, okay? And I want you to pull a tiny bit of black down, okay? And we're going to put a lot of this purple right here. Doesn't take a lot of that black. We're going to make ourselves a nice dark midnight purple, okay? You make this whatever color you like. Again, this is going to be the clouds. And remember, this is more at nighttime, so these are going to be nice and dark. All right. Now with the fan brush, we're just going to come in, and we're going to wisp, okay? We're going to come right across that sun. Wherever you think they should be. You just go ahead and you just drop them little doers in. Okay? And make sure it's nice and full. Okay? Make sure you go off the canvas. All the way down here. Right. I guess that wasn't that crazy. We didn't get that crazy yet. Now, with your dry brush, okay, we're going to blend very gently. So, when we come in here, nice and gently. Just want to soften those out. Pull away. This is why I didn't put anything on the eyes here. You see, you wouldn't want this going in there. You just want to soften those out. All right. See, now we got that sun back there. Isn't that a nice little, neat little way to do that? Now what we are going to do is we're going to wash this brush again. It's my favorite part. We're just going to beat it like it owes us money. You know what? That was so fun. I just wanted to do it again. All right. Now, with that same 2-inch brush, we're going to go in and we're going to make our horizon line. Okay? You know what? This is my world. I'm going to change it up. We're going to do something different. I decided that we're going to have a mountain today. So with this same color, I want you to pull that nice and flat. Okay? We're going to get something on the knife. We're just going to put in the outline. You can just do this with flat black too. Just going to put in that outline of this mountain range. And you know what? Maybe he's got a friend that lives just right there. And then we'll just kind of let this one go off into the distance. Something like that. Now, take that same fan brush that we just cleaned off. You know, we make mistakes. We're going to go ahead and we're going to load this same color back up. If you need to have a little bit more, just put a little bit of that purple over there, okay? Now, this is our light source, okay? So, we're always going to want the shadows going away. We need to always think about where the light's going to be coming from, okay? So, we're going to put it right there. And we're going to decide right there, okay? Now, make it go up a little bit higher. I like that mountain. Now, with the 2-inch brush, we're going to pull. Yeah, that looks like shit. All right. Let's just load a little bit more of that color in there. Yeah, we're just gonna... You know, we had no plans today. We'll make it work. I promise. I promise it'll look good by the end. All right. And we'll just... Truth be told, I just wanted an excuse to wash that brush again. All right. Now, let's go right back in here. I'm going to take a little bit of this white, okay? I'm going to pull it off into there, right? Look at that. Right. If you don't make the noises, it doesn't work. All right. Now that we've done that, now we're going to go ahead and lay in our foundation. So now what we're going to do is down here, we're just going to put a nice base of brown, okay? and then we'll cover that up. But we don't want it to be the color of this, okay? So I got another 2-inch brush. You can use the other one if you don't have another one. I'm actually going to just pour a little bit of this right in there. All right. And we're just going to smear this across her whole face. How's that? All right. Nice and brown. Now we're getting somewhere. All right. One more time. And I think that'll probably be it for the 2-inch brush for today. So just beat the devil out of it. All right. So now, what kind of painting with Bob Chandler would it be if we didn't have some trees? There we go. So really load up the fan brush. All right, where's he gonna live? We're gonna go with, yep, right here. So start with a dot, and then with the corner, push very gently. And as we go down, push harder. And right there's a little pine tree. All right, and you know, we're gonna leave it at that for right now, because we're gonna go and we're gonna put in some bushes, but we might come back and do some more. So, with this same color, 2-inch brush, just tap them bristles. Bring a little bit more over here. I want it to be nice and dark. It's far away from the sun. It's far away from the sun. Okay? And now we're going to just let this brown, some of that look through, and that's going to be our little trail. But we're going to fill some of this in. Okay? So you're just going to want to just let the canvas take what it does. See how I put some little tiny colors in there, them little sparklers? It's beautiful. And we're going to go right over top of this tree. That's going to push that right back. See that? All right. Look at that. Come over here on the corner. Wherever you think they should live. This is your world. You put them in wherever you think they deserve to be. All right. Now, you're going to have to wash that brush off just one more time. All right. Now, we'll take that same 2-inch brush, and now we're going to add some highlights, okay? This is going to be a nice little trick. So we're going to take this green, right? Pull that down. Load the brush up with that. Now, I bet you were wondering why we have yellow, orange, and red. We're going to take a little bit of that, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. See, we have that loaded up on the brush. So now, we go in here and just lay in them highlights. Lay them in there. It's going to look like there's all kinds of little flowers and all kinds of little things just sparkling away in there. Isn't that fantastic? You know, painting will really make you, it'll really make you learn to see the world. We do a whole lot of going outside and looking and walking, but we're not seeing. We don't see the beauty. We're going to come over here, and I know you might not be able to see all that, but we'll get you a nice close-up at the end here. It just looks beautiful. All right. Now, you can go ahead and you don't need to wash that brush off. Okay? We are going to take a little bit of the yellow, and we're just going to pull it down into this. Oh, I'm sorry, my fan brush still has that dark army green on it. Let's just rinse some of that off. And I just got a little towel over here. If you need to pause it and go and wash your brush, go ahead. It doesn't need to be super clean. All right? Load it up with this green. Okay? This is already a highlight to our army green. And we're just going to pull a little bit of yellow. You see how that's on there? See how it's not mixed? Watch this. We're just going to go back in there. You want to put a little bit on the corner. Because remember, with the sun right here, there's not going to be highlights on this side. We're only going to do highlights on this side. Leave some of that shadow. Don't kill it all. So we're going to go in there. And just add some of that. Look at that. All right. Isn't that fabulous? Now, let's get crazy. You knew that I wasn't going to be able to just leave it like this. My producers are going to kill me. So, we're going to take that same fan brush. You know what? We're going to go ahead and just take this paintbrush right here. We'll go with that. And we're just going to take just straight black. Okay? And you all knew that I wasn't going to be able to just leave that one tree in here. You know, this is a true bravery test. I think, you know, we're just going to put a big old... Oh, I want him to be even bigger than that. He's just a big old giant. Put his foot go way down here. All right. Maybe he has an arm that just comes right here where her eyelashes are. We'll do that. All right. And don't worry. We'll get the liner brush and we'll fix that up. Make him nice. Man, he is a big boy, isn't he? All right. You know what? That felt so good. We're just going to put one over here, too. We're going to put it right here, framing the face. And then maybe he has a big old arm that just comes out like that. Yeah, I like that. We're getting crazy now. Maybe. He comes down like that. All right. And now, we'll go ahead and rinse this off. And now, this is really close to the painting. Really close to us. So it's very far away from the sun. So there's not going to be a whole lot of light hitting these. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a little bit of this white, and we're just going to stay with the same paintbrush. Just mix a little white with a little bit. Now don't kill that. Fan it out. And we're just going to come on down. And you're just going to blend that in. We just want the indication of brown, okay? The indication. And you know, I think we're going to make these dead trees. I don't think we're going to put any, we're not going to put any limbs on them. They're just two old fellas just hanging out. All right. Picking up some of that black, just bring some more brown in. And just, there we go. Mix some of that color in there. Just put a little bit more right here. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead, same type of brush. This is actually the one we used for the sun. Make sure there's no yellow on there. We're going to go right back into this black. Okay? You're going to want to twist the brush. That makes it nice and sharp at the tip. We're just going to give this old boy some doers. Give him some doers right there. Give him some character. Maybe down here. Yeah, right about that. Wherever you think they should be. This is your tree. And maybe you don't want to paint this big old tree like Bob. You know? Maybe you think, you know, Bob Chandler's crazy. Well, we're going to do that. I'm going to be here all day painting branches. Let's give him another one right there. We'll do that. Wow, now that looks nice. All right. Now, we're going to have to go right back in to a little bit of this green with a little bit of black. Okay? And we're just going to have to... Now we're going to be blending, what we're going to do is we're going to hide the trunks, okay? We're going to hide these trunks back here, but we got to be real dark, okay? Because it's going to be behind the tree, and we have the tree black. So nice and dark. And just bury the foots and go all the way up to the... Just bury the foots. Get all the way under this chin here. You know what? Put a little bit of yellow right now. Bury that. Bury that tree. Get a little bit of that yellow. I just like the way that looks. See that? Maybe that sun just finds its way and sparkles right in there. And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and sign this. Okay. B for Bob. C for Chandler. All right. And I hope you really enjoyed this painting today. If you would like to see some more makeup tutorials like this, subscribe. Let this video be popular. Make it go viral. That'll tell us that you liked it. In the comments, tell us what landscape you'd like to see next. Maybe you'd like a seascape. Tell us what you'd like to see. And with that, we'll see you next time. God bless.